I didn't mean to lie. It just slipped out like my mouth was drunk while my heart stayed sober. That was the exact moment my life turned upside down. One small lie about having a boyfriend, and suddenly everyone in my world was demanding proof. It started on a Tuesday afternoon in the middle of the student union. My best friend Ashley had been bragging about her new boyfriend for the 5th time that week, glowing with that dizzy kind of happiness people wear like expensive perfume. I had smiled, nodded, and then like an idiot blurted out, "Well, I've got a boyfriend too." The table went silent. I remember the way Ashley's mouth dropped open like she was about to scream, and how the other guys from our literature seminar looked at me as if I just admitted to living a double life. The truth? I didn't. I'd never even kissed a boy. And yet, instead of laughing it off, I doubled down. I told them he was amazing, supportive, that he made me laugh when I couldn't breathe under the weight of exams. The lie spilled out smoother than any truth I'd ever told. And once it was alive, it wouldn't die. The problem? They wanted to meet him. That's when my roommate, Alex, stepped in. Alex and I weren't close. We'd shared a dorm for almost a year, but we lived in parallel universes. He was confident, athletic, and annoyingly charismatic. The kind of guy who could walk into a room and own it without saying a word. Meanwhile, I was the quiet one, living through books and scribbled notes in my journal. When I confessed my disaster to him later that night, pacing our room with my hands buried in my hair, Alex leaned back on his bed and smirked. "So let me get this straight. You lied about having a boyfriend, and now you need one." "Yes," I groaned. "And you thought telling me would fix this. How?" "I didn't," I snapped, throwing my pillow at him. "I just needed to tell someone before my brain exploded." He caught the pillow, eyes glinting with something I didn't understand yet. "Well, maybe I could help." I froze. "Help? You need a boyfriend, right? For show." "Could. I don't know. Pretend." He said it so casually, like offering to lend me a textbook. My heart nearly fell out of my chest. "You? Pretend to be my boyfriend? Why not?" He shrugged. "I'm convincing. People believe what I tell them. And honestly, it sounds kind of fun." Fun. That was the word he used, as if he had any idea what he was agreeing to. The next week was chaos. Alex threw himself into the role with reckless dedication. He slung his arm over my shoulder in the cafeteria, stole bites of my food, and called me ridiculous pet names in front of everyone. He even changed my contact in his phone to Babe and made sure people saw it. I thought it would be humiliating. Instead, it was terrifying in another way because it felt good. Too good. The first time his hand brushed mine under the table, I nearly dropped my tray. The first time he pulled me into a hug, whispering, "Play along," my entire body went stiff before melting like wax. And when he pressed a kiss against my temple at a party just to shut up some drunk sophomore who kept asking questions, I couldn't sleep for 2 nights straight, because none of it felt fake to me. But to him, it was all an act. The performance reached its breaking point one Friday evening. Ashley had invited us both to a small get-together in her apartment. I hadn't realized how exhausting pretending could be until I found myself leaning into Alex's chest while Ashley snapped photos for her Instagram. His hand was warm against my back, his voice low and teasing in my ear, but my stomach twisted with every laugh we shared. Because the more convincing we became, the more I hated myself for wanting it to be real. Later, after everyone had gone home, I confronted him in our dorm. "You can stop," I said, tossing my jacket onto my chair. My voice was shaking. "We've convinced them. They believe it. You don't have to keep pretending anymore." Alex looked at me, expression unreadable. "Is that what you want?" "Yes," I lied. He stood, walking closer until I could feel the heat radiating off him. His eyes searched mine, like he was waiting for me to flinch. "Because the way you looked at me tonight didn't feel like pretend." My chest tightened, breath caught halfway to breaking. "Alex, say the word," he whispered, his hand brushing against mine, sending sparks through my veins. "And I'll stop. But if you don't, then maybe we should admit it's not just acting anymore." The silence between us stretched like glass, fragile and trembling. I wanted to speak. I wanted to leap, but fear pinned me down and I said nothing. So he pulled away. For the next few weeks, everything changed. Alex stopped the charade. He still joked around, but the pet names vanished, the casual touches disappeared, and the distance between our beds felt like a canyon. Everyone else believed we were still together, but inside our room, we lived like strangers again. And it hurt more than I expected. I missed the way he smiled just for me, the way his laugh curled around my ribs like a secret. I missed the safety of his presence, the steady comfort of knowing he was there even when the world spun too fast. Most of all, I missed believing just for a second that someone could want me. The breaking point came during finals week. I was sitting in the library, head buried in my notes, when Ashley slid into the seat across from me. "Hey," she said softly. "Are you and Alex okay?" I stiffened. "Why?" "Because you used to glow when he walked into the room. Now you look like you're barely breathing." Her eyes were kind, not judgmental. "Whatever's going on, don't waste it. Real or not, you two had something. And it was beautiful." Her words stuck to me all day, gnawing at the edges of my denial. By the time I dragged myself back to the dorm, my chest was on fire with things unsaid. When I opened the door, Alex was there, sitting on his bed with his headphones in. He looked up, surprised, as I blurted out, "I lied again." He pulled the headphones off. "What?" I said I wanted you to stop, but I didn't. I never did. My voice cracked, raw and trembling. "I lied because I was scared, Alex. Scared that I'd want you for real and you'd never want me back." His eyes softened, and for the first time in weeks, he crossed the room to stand in front of me. "Do you really think I'd go through all that trouble just for fun?" "You said—" "I said it would be fun," he interrupted gently. "I never said it wasn't real for me too." My heart stopped. "Then why did you—" "Because you told me to stop." His voice was low, steady. "And the last thing I wanted was to hurt you by pushing something you didn't want." The world tilted under my feet as his hand brushed against my cheek, tentative and trembling. "So," he whispered, "tell me what you want now." I didn't think. I didn't breathe. I just reached up, grabbed his shirt, and kissed him. It was clumsy, desperate, and everything I'd ever wanted. And when he kissed me back, really kissed me, with the weight of all those weeks of silence and longing, I knew this was no lie. Summer came, and with it 1,000 changes. But some things stayed the same. Alex's arm around my shoulders when we walked across campus, his laughter spilling into my chest, the steady warmth of his hand wrapped around mine. We never announced anything. We didn't need to. The people around us could see it, glowing and undeniable. Sometimes I thought back to that first stupid lie in the student union and laughed at how it all began. Because somewhere between pretending and protecting, between stolen glances and whispered words, Alex had stopped being my fake boyfriend. He'd become the truth I'd been too afraid to say out loud. And the truth was this: I loved him. And for the first time in my life, that wasn't a lie. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.